On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
Speaking of the Demons, Jack Viney was there on Friday night. He's probably still lamenting the fact that the Swannies were able to get the Chockies and send them through to a semi-final this weekend, the D's, and Friday night against the Brisbane Lions. And we're heading into the inner sanctum with Jack very shortly, thanks to the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival. Time for the best horses and the best care, and Jack's getting ready for the best game on Friday night. Jack, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are we?
We are well, mate. Have you been boxing recently? My wife reckons she saw you at the gym, the boxing gym, the other day.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I do enjoy my boxing and try and get to the Surrey Hills boxing gym for once a week just to sharpen up.
Yeah, well, she was there, and Jerry, the main man there at Surrey Hills, said, "That's Jack Viney, you know, Beck." And she goes, "No, didn't know that, but that's all right." Well, she didn't. She doesn't know footy stuff. She just boxes. She likes to punch people.
No, that's what I do. That's what I do enjoy about the boxing gym is there's not too many individuals in there that know too much about footy, so they just beat the crap out of me.
Is that what in terms of conditioning and extra workload and stuff? Is that, do you have to get that past the footy club, or you just are allowed to do it by yourself?
No, they know I do it. They probably don't know I do a little bit of sparring. I don't tell them that
they do now.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy the fitness. I think it's great, kind of, working under fatigue. So. I've boxed for a little bit now and, thoroughly enjoy it to kind of keep my conditioning, up throughout the season.
Yeah, well, it's low impact activity, but high physicality requirements. And it used to be huge in footy clubs, and then the Hawks boys punched each other up, and I don't think you're allowed to do it too much anymore, are you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I know the sparring is not allowed at football clubs anymore because of, a couple of instances. With concussion and stuff. But I assume that we're still able to, have boxing coaches and boxing sessions for cardio purposes. I think what's kind of killed it at footy clubs is the soft cap stuff.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to have those kind of, extra resources around football clubs because soft caps are so tight at the moment. So, boxing and wrestling coaches... at least at the D's is, we don't have one at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Wonder with the TV rights going through that the soft cap might go back up and you get those things back.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey, Jack, I'm just interested. I mean, you love it tough, as we've just been talking about. That game on Friday night, it seemed pretty brutal out there to watch. What was it like to play?
Yeah, it was a high-pressure game of football. Which is finals football. That's what we expected, and that's what we've been preparing for all year. Unfortunately, Sydney did it better than us, so luckily we put ourselves in a good position to get a second chance, and find ourselves up against Brisbane this Friday.
It looked there for a moment when I think it was when Sparrow kicked the goal. That you'd almost broken the game, that you were away and running. Did you feel that out there playing it, that you almost had them, but just not quite?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we had momentum. And that's football. There are momentum shifts, and you try and make the most of them when you can. So, at that point of the game, we felt like we'd gathered some momentum, and you just try and hold on to it, try and score as heavily as you can in that time period. But and when you're playing against the best teams in the competition, they're able to, stay in the moment and get back to work and wrestle it back. And that's what Sydney did. And, from then on in, we weren't kind of able to wrestle it back.
So as you said, you've lived to fight another day. You're playing on Friday night. What did it do to the confidence levels of the group? Because it was a tight contest. It wasn't as though you were blown out of the water. What's the mood of the group? How do you feel going into Friday night now?
Yeah, no, the mood of the group's really upbeat. We're still extremely confident that our, brand of football and our best football is able to get the job done in finals. We felt like we were probably off a bit in the contest, and you were able to do it better than us. So we are, we're highly disappointed from the weekend's result because we would have loved to have, gone into the prelim, but, we're lucky, well, I suppose not lucky enough, but we've put ourselves in a position to have another opportunity, and we just get back to work. The group's still confident and still upbeat about the opportunity we've got on Friday night.
What was Goody's summation of the situation after Friday night? What was the theme in the review? If you can take us into part of it.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much that. It was some simple learnings. It was some stuff around discipline, like we gave away a few 50 metres, which came handed in goals.
Yep.
Which in big games like that, when we talk about momentum, when you're handing teams momentum or, stifling your momentum, that has massive impacts on outcomes of games. So it touched on that slightly, but that was one of the main points. Then obviously there was some stuff related to game style, and which I probably won't touch on too much. We've been working hard throughout the week, but confident that we'll be able to implement that throughout the week.
And tell us about this Petrarca fella. He's got a broken leg. He's out there. He's got 24 disposals with a broken leg, and they reckon he's going to play again this Friday night with a broken leg, Jack.
Yeah. No, it was, he's been able to train all week, and, to get through what he did last Friday night, credit to him. And, all reports he's going to be 100% for a Friday night's battle against Brisbane. So, thankfully it's an injury which is, he can play with, and, we need him out there. So it's a great result for the footy club, and, credit to Christian. It's
a remarkable performance. A fracture in your leg is not comfortable in the best of times, but to be able to play through it and have the impact he did on Friday night was enormous. So it'd be great to see him back out there this week, clearly. What about Big Tom? How's Big Tom McDonald tracking?
Yeah, no, he's tracking well. He had his first game a couple of weeks ago now, because they won, they had the week off in the VFL. So he had his first game back from a long stint in rehab. So he did really well to get through that. Performed nicely, and he's really put his hand up for selection.
Can Charlie Spargo talk yet?
He's very husky. He was pretty shocking after the game, but from all reports, he's healthy and just needs to rest his voice, not his voice, but his throat up a little bit. But we're pretty confident he'll be 100% for game day. Why
do you play so well against Brisbane?
That's a great question, and I'm not too sure exactly why we've I suppose performed well on them over the last year or two, but I think we match up stylistically quite similar. We're both heavy contest teams, and they look to get the ball going forward quickly from contest. So I can't put a finger on exactly why we've performed well against them in the past, but we've been cautious about not letting that affect our judgment. Coming in this week, just because we've played well against them. The last 3 times we've played them, that's just going to translate into us playing well on Friday night. We've made a real clear point of that. It's about sticking to our process and understanding why.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Jack, for me with your team, in that obviously that you're the premiers, so you're the benchmark, and everyone wants to compare how you're going this year to last year and so forth. That's just a natural thing to do. But there's also the other factor of other teams and what they've learnt about what you can do and how they stop you from trying to do what you do well. But so taking that into factor, how do you think you are going at the moment? Do you think you are off last year's finals form, or do you think you're pretty close? It's just that the other teams may have closed the gap a bit.
Yeah, I think we're pretty close, and I think our best football is definitely worthy of getting us all the way I do see other teams are playing extremely good football and kind of matching it with us and even beating us at times. So we need to be sharp, and if not going out there and executing our game style to its maximum capacity and executing the roles within that, it's not going to get it done against these other teams that are functioning extremely well. So that's our challenge. And we're taking it 1 week at a time. We've got Brisbane this week, and we need to get that done. Otherwise, we'll our next game will be round 1 next season.
The great news for you, Jack, is only 3 more 1 weeks at a time to get through, if you can get through the grand final. So it's almost you're almost done with the 1 weeks at a time, which is great. We're in the Breakfast Club's Inner Sanctum on the Melbourne Football Club, presented by the Victorian Spring Racing Carnival. Time for the biggest stage and the best care with Jack Viney. And the MCG factor, I want to talk about that. Last year was obviously an unusual year. You're interstate, you won the grand final and a premiership in Perth. You had 80,000 last week at the MCG against Sydney. There'll be another big crowd this week. The prelim, if you get through, is going to be Geelong at the MCG, then the grand final at the MCG, which is the home of your football club. How big an incentive is that after what you achieved last year interstate?
Yeah, it's a big incentive. To do some special things last year, unfortunately away from home. And so we weren't able to have our crowd, our fans there, have our families at the game, and experience that alongside us. So, that's a big incentive this year. Doing it at the G, in front of our supporter base, and also getting our families along to experience finals football. In my career, as much as I don't like to admit it, I'm almost getting to veteran status. I've only played. This is my second final series in at home. So, our families, haven't really been able to experience finals football too much over my career. So to get them to the G, to witness everything alongside us is really special and something that motivates the group, I think.
And just on your perspective on footy, you talk about being one of the older stages, a bit more experienced these days. Recently, you've had additions to the family. Mila was born, she's 2, Mila, I think, at the moment. You've got another one on the way. We learned about a month ago, which is fantastic news. How's that changed your perspective on what you do and the importance of it and where it fits in the scheme of things?
Yeah, I think it's definitely taught me a few things around time management. I can't fluff around at the club doing extras till 6 o'clock at night, because then I'll get in trouble when I get home from Charlotte, my wife. Not helping out with the bath duties and dinner duties, and so I'm definitely more conscious of my time and what I'm doing. Being efficient with it. In terms of my kind of outlook on football, it's always been. It hasn't changed too much after having a little one. I'm still, highly competitive, intense, and so not too much to change there. But in terms of how I structure my week and how I still get my best prepare myself for game day, I think that's definitely changed for the better.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
And your dad getting back into that AFL environment, he's joining Clarko at North Melbourne. What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, it's exciting. Dad's had a couple of years out of the game now. He's done his own thing for a few years. But the opportunity came to work with Clarko again. Obviously it's North Melbourne have struggled for the last couple of years, so Dad's excited about that opportunity working with Clarko, and so he's got a new bout of energy ready to get into it.
What sort of grandfather is he?
He's a softie. He's a softie, that's for sure. He's a bit flat at the moment because he's my mum Nana's the favourite at the moment, the favourite grandparent. So he's a bit flat, and he's working hard to get back in that favourite status.
Well, it can be a long process, that one. He's got some work ahead of him, the big fella. We wish him the best of luck, and we wish you the best of luck on Friday night, Brisbane at the MCG 7:50. Check your local guides, the Demons. looking to advance to another prelim final. Appreciate your time, Jack. Go get him this week.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.